Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. Got a few things to talk about today. I gotta make a pit stop first. Feels like I should have brought my gloves. I'm also not wearing my neck warmer collar. Oops. Well, the sun's out. Shouldn't be too bad. First of all, I want to thank people that are watching these videos. Really appreciate that very much. Just a reminder, I'm not monetized. I just like the idea of exercise, make America healthy again. Hopefully it encourages other people to exercise more. You don't have to go out and set any records, but it's always a good idea to make yourself healthier. Preferably diet change along with it. That's a big factor. Very big. Microwave ready meals are a no-no. They're all bad. They're all also very high in salt. Even the ones they market as low sodium are very high. So it's not good, even if you're young. Anyway, do have a few things to talk about tonight. If I can get across the street here. Let me go. All right, I gotta stop in here. I shall return in a moment. Be right back, my friends. So, my friends, my bank today has free apple cider and free cookies. They look like Halloween themed cookies. So, being the cookie monger that I am, I accepted the cookies. I'm going to eat the cookies while we walk. Okay? Who the hell is going to turn down free cookies? Good apple cider too. Apple cider is good in moderation. Too much apple cider and you can spend a few hours on the commode. It's like liquid dynamite, with me anyway. That's if you drink a whole lot of it, like a half gallon or something. So, we do have some things to talk about. This is going to be very important tonight. The most important stop on President Trump's Asian business trip, as I'll call it. So he was in North Korea yesterday. South Korea, I mean, sorry. South Korea. And technically North Korea and South Korea are still at war with each other. Isn't that strange? So they do hate each other. But anyway, South Korea got President Trump on board with getting them some nuclear-powered submarines. Why is that important? Well, China doesn't want that. China wants to dominate militarily in that whole part of the world. And I'm going to remind you of something as soon as we pass this guy with the dog. I'm sure the doggy isn't going to attack me. Hi. So as a reminder, now a lot of people think the United States way over here, you know, away from Asia. I want to remind you that we are in fact a Pacific nation. A lot of people seem to forget that. We have Hawaii out in the Pacific. We have the entire west coast of the United States on the Pacific. We have Alaska. And we border the Pacific Ocean, same as Russia does, China does. It's just on the other side of it. Now, when you look at a map, that's unfolded, it looks a lot more, it looks a lot bigger, right? And it looks, I mean, it looks like crazy a lot bigger. But when you take the map that's folded out flat, because the Earth is a sphere, right? When you take that folded out flat map and you wrap it around the sphere, you can see how really close Asia is, especially the northern part of Asia, North Korea and all that. It's very startling when you look at an actual globe instead of a map. And you can see how strategically important it is to protect your country and your assets that border on the Pacific Ocean. The Chinese Navy has more ships than we do now. Trump said they're going to fix that. You know, he said for some reason, he doesn't understand why. Probably politics or just poor decisions in the past. We stopped making ships. We do have an absolutely kick-ass submarine fleet. It's estimated that the rest of the world's not going to catch up to our submarine fleet for at least 25-30 years. Technology-wise, production-wise. So this is all very good, because I think submarines are actually more important than battleships. I don't think battleships are as important as they used to be. They're too easy to sink with today's technology. Good cookie. I'm going to turn this around. Sorry, I won't torment you with my cookie mongering. So as you can see, the fall foliage is just about past it at this point. All right. Walking on here. So, this Asian trip has been very fruitful. In Japan, Mr. Toyota, yes, that Toyota, that's somebody's name on the trucks and cars. Mr. Toyota had a conversation with President Trump, and they're going to be investing billions of dollars in new manufacturing in the United States to avoid the tariffs. That's going to be a lot of jobs, and it'll mean that Toyotas will be less expensive for Americans to buy. So I thought I'd share that with you. It's good news. South Korea is going to be investing a lot of money as well. Now, really what I should point out is that all of these Asian countries, all of them, have rolled out the red carpet and then some for President Trump. They have been very friendly, respectful. President Trump is obviously very respected, which is nice to see. So the big meeting is with tonight, with Chairman Xi of China. Now, just to give you a little rundown on the current situation in China with Chairman Xi, he's in trouble. He's in trouble in China because the economy is faltering, and President Trump has been very tough on China, 145% tariffs, and China's feeling it. And Trump did that because Trump knew he was going to be talking with him at some point, and he wanted him to know what the deal was. Now, the Chinese country is communist. They don't have a capitalist government, and they have to operate on whatever taxes they collect from members of the Communist Party. Business has not been very good. So they don't have the same legislative process that we have to delve out cash. They just do it. And they're having a difficult time doing that right now because there's no money. There's also no social safety nets in China. They don't have that over there. You either get money or you don't. And the people that get money are people that agree with the government. So now you're getting people getting upset with the government because that's going to affect their life a lot more dramatically than it does here, which sounds comical at the moment with the government shutdown. But when the government isn't shut down, things are different. And so anyway, China, you know, Chairman Xi, if you do a little research on him, he went to college here in the United States. He's gone to the best schools. He's worked his way up in the Communist Party. And he's been their biggest leader since probably, he wants to go down in Chinese history as being another Chairman Mao. Without the killing of millions of Chinese. But at the same time, he doesn't want millions of Chinese turning on him because they're not eating. When we were kids, we used to hear, "Finish your plate. Don't you know there are children starving in China? You should appreciate what you have. Other people are starving." Well, that was true. Chinese aren't starving anymore. But they're about to start having some serious problems because they tried to do a kind of funny to even say it, a government-controlled capitalist financial system where it's a capitalist system modeled after a capitalist system. It's not a capitalist system. Modeled after it in that members of the Communist Party can take out loans, invest money, open factories. The government is very friendly with people that do for the Communist Party. There are a lot of stories in China of people not starting out with very much, but being heavily involved with the Communist Party and working their way up. And then they just simply ask for money to open a factory and they get it. So, problem with that is, when the economy goes south, the Communist Party has invested so much financially in its own system that they had a really huge real estate bubble problem because they don't have free markets for real estate. There's been different covering of that on various programs. One of them was Top Gear, where they went to China, and you know, you'd have these buildings you could buy for like $10, $1,000, whatever. The buildings are all run down and crap, but you got that piece of land. Problem is you can't do anything with it. So all of this stuff was delegated to only people in China that are in the Communist Party can buy it, and they didn't want it. So they ended up having a really bad real estate problem, which killed their government-controlled stock market. Good cookie. I'm nibbling on the cookie once in a while. Anyway, right now, Chairman Xi in China is vulnerable. He wants to stay in power. He doesn't want to be removed by his party. And he's in trouble. He has to have a good trade deal with Trump because China cannot sustain 145% tariffs with the #1 world's economy, which is us. And that was why we saw the unexpected announcement from China about rare earths that panicked markets around the world. They were basically saber rattling. So, while Chairman Xi is doing military exercises, saber rattling with the economy, Trump is going all over Asia, stealing the Chinese market, which is what he was doing. These Asian countries know that China is communist, and on a whim, by the flip of a switch, they can turn on you, and if you make the mistake of investing too much and depending on China, you're going to lose. So China doing the rare earths thing really sent a lot of shockwaves, almost like divinely, just as Trump is planning a trip to Asia. They may very well have scheduled this trip after China did that. But for security reasons and things like that, I doubt it. These countries have to be notified ahead of time. Which is why Trump said yesterday that, you know, it'd be nice to visit with Chairman Kim in North Korea while he's there, but he said no such invitation had been set up ahead of time, and those things take time for security reasons for both countries. So, what is China and Chairman Xi going to offer Trump tonight? Because he's going to have to offer something. I'm talking in between bites. Please forgive me. So, I think it'll be an easy one for Xi to give Trump the fentanyl ban that Trump wants. Because I don't think you know, while that's a big market in the United States, in China, they don't have a drug problem there. They used to. They used to have a lot of opium addicts, and it was made illegal. You sell drugs in China, or if you buy drugs, they have a social credit score. You get caught buying drugs in China, you end up in a concentration camp, a labor camp, probably never to get out again. Drug dealers are put to death. Some guy selling pills on the corner in China, you're dead. That's it. So banning fentanyl is not going to be a big deal, because fentanyl, I guess, is pretty easy to make if you have the facilities. It's cheap to make. The medical industry does use it. Open heart surgeries, they use that to slow the heart rate down and help induce a chemical, whatever you call it, coma induced or whatever. So it is needed. But the primary source of fentanyl is China. For the longest time, you could buy it through mail order. It was getting through customs because of open trade, basically, with China. Talking years ago. It's not like that now. But a lot of these boats that are being blown up, every time the Trump administration smokes a coke boat in the Caribbean or elsewhere, the fentanyl that's on there originated from China. So it's killing a lot of people. You have a lot of drug dealers here cutting the good quality drugs with a little bit of fentanyl. Problem is, half the time they don't care or they don't know what they're doing. And some kid takes a black market Xanax at a party. It's laced with fentanyl. Or there have been a lot of reports of lacing marijuana with fentanyl to get you hooked on it. Fentanyl is extremely addictive. It's many times more addictive than heroin. So you can get addicted to it after your first or second time. Then you can't get off it. Causes your body to deoxygenize, which leads to open sores on your skin, organ failure. Really nasty. That's if you live that long. Pure fentanyl, just touching it with your fingertip will kill you. Plenty of videos online. I'll never forget that one I saw, body cam. They pulled somebody over and they were searching the vehicle. And the officer unzipped a bag, put his hand inside it, and that was it. Immediately, like touching a socket. It absorbed through his fingertip, and he overdosed. The officer with him knew what it was, and they carry Narcan. So his partner injected him with that, saved his life. But he was down on the ground, out. He was overdosing. He was going to die. It's funny, when that dog is out there with the other dog, oh, there they are. And they usually don't bark like that at me. Maybe it's the sunglasses. What do you think? Do I look menacing? Anyway, fentanyl is nasty stuff. Nasty. N-A-S-T-E-E, nasty. Nasty. So, let's see what happens with Chairman Xi tonight. I don't think, with the exception of 3, maybe 4 days, and not consecutively, I don't think President Trump has stopped working, basically. He's not a spring chicken. How does he do it? How the heck does he do that? So we'll see what happens late tonight. There's several hours ahead of us over there. So it'll be interesting to catch ceremonies. Last time Trump was there, he got a very big welcome, if you remember. I also want to add that Chairman Xi is not like Putin. Chairman Xi has a lot more integrity, more if I say this is how it is. Putin just, nothing you can trust with him at all. Anything he says, you can't really take his word on it. And Chairman Xi is a little different because he has to come through for his party, and he can't do things like that. That's going to screw him. And he's feeling pressure from his party. He is. So Trump is going to get something tonight. It's not going to be... I was talking about this a few weeks ago with China. Is they're going to have a compromise. Trump's not going to get everything he wants. Xi's not going to get everything he wants. There's going to be a compromise because this is going to take a while to sort this out. Because the United States has given so much of our economy away to China starting 30, 40 years ago that this is going to be very difficult. It's not going to happen overnight. But this will be a big start. And that's why it's going to be very important the next election in the United States. And I really hate to say it that way, but we all seen what the Democrats do. Especially if they get into a, like Biden did when he got elected, He just had a whole stack of executive orders in front of him. I don't even think he knew or understood what was in them. He just signed them. His administration put those together. It reversed the border policies. It reversed the energy policies. Just because they told their constituents, we're going to undo everything Trump did. Just because Trump! So that's what they did. Not even 2 years later, we had almost, well, not almost, it was $6 a gallon for heating fuel in April 2022. At the end of the heating season, thankfully. But it was $5.98. Today it's under $3. Gas was $4 something, $4. So they reversed all of Trump's energy policies. Then they ended up having to admit they shouldn't have done that, and they put some of them back. But not before Biden depleted our oil reserves, which now Trump is replenishing. Takes a while to build that back up. And if we have a national emergency, we need that. That's what it's for. So, Democrats are a wrecking ball. And just, you know, not to make a pun on the ballroom for the White House, which is a whole nother aneurysm the left is having. You know, so anyway, I'll finish up on the China thing. Trump's going to get a lot from China tonight that China doesn't want to do, but Chairman Xi has to because of the politics. That's why I took the time to explain what's going on with the Communist Party. Xi is getting older. He's not an old man yet, but he wants to have a legacy. He wants to leave behind being one of the best Chinese leaders ever, and that's not happening right now. So people making money and being happy, that would make China happy, that would make Xi happy, and that would make us happy. Because the only way they're going to do that with Trump around is to have fair trade, which is what we voted for. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, tonight, not tonight, but the White House ballroom, people are now getting what's being called ballroom derangement syndrome. It's closely related to Trump derangement syndrome. It's kind of a mutated virus, okay? Now, I had briefly touched on the reason why they're angry is that they're hoping when Trump is done, he just goes away and they can go back to how things used to be. And now that he has a ballroom, one of the leading stories on that is that it's going to be named the Donald J. Trump Ballroom. Get some people running. So that's the Donald J. Trump Ballroom. That's just a rumor, okay? Now that's all the media needed. So now the headline is that President Trump is going to be sticking around after he's out of office because the damn building is going to have his name on it. So I'm thinking what they should do, Trump should just call it the People's Ballroom. he should do. Because then if anybody tries to change the name, well, it's going to look bad, right? So they're already talking like any Democrat running in the future for president, if they hope to get the nomination, they better promise to demolish the ballroom. It's not even built yet. On the premise that it's going to be gaudy, ugly, and it's not. It's going to be traditional to the rest of the White House. And they've been trying every story angle to denigrate the ballroom, including inside sources say Melania Trump is not happy with losing the East Wing. Because the East Wing basically belongs to the First Lady when the president is in office. So that's the rumor being reported, that she had a problem with it. When in reality, what probably happened was she may have been disappointed that it was going to happen, but understood that the decision was made for the integrity of the new addition that the East Wing has to be rebuilt also, because that was built a long time ago. It's getting run down. So decided to rebuild the entire wing going to the ballroom, which is good. It's not a bad thing. Certainly looks worse in the pictures, which is why these Democrats are absolutely losing their shit over it. It's unbelievable. So that leads me to my next segment I wanted to talk about. What are the biggest Democratic Party things that they promote? Neo-Marxist gender ideology, which includes transgenderism, DEI, woke politics, and what's included in that tent is climate fear-mongering. Booga, booga, booga. They take every social topic, every single one, and they politicize it, and then they get something going that's called social contagion. Social contagion. That is where we have a whole bunch of young people who were told that you can change your sex simply by stating it. I'm a woman today. I'm a dog tomorrow. I'm a telephone pole. I'm a street sign. I can be whatever I want. Identity politics. Self-ID. I don't need any medical person to tell me that. I can just be that. And you have to comply with it. Oh, well, geez, all these young people, that caught on like fire, didn't it? That is social contagion, where you create a fad, a thing. So they do it with everything. I have come to the conclusion, without even realizing it all this time, until it struck me like a lawn dart running away from somebody, hitting you in the chest or in the head. Like a stray lawn dart. Donald Trump is a global social contagion. That's why they hate Trump. They don't even know why. It's just something you're going to do if you disagree with the right. It's a social contagion. Crazy. These people are nuts. And it occurred to me because if you're on social media anywhere, there are people that absolutely rabidly hate Donald Trump, and they don't even know why, because the stuff that they say he doesn't do. It's like a cult. It is. It's a cult. Social contagion. And how do we know that? Well, some of the people that hate Donald Trump the most, they don't even fucking live here. Trump doesn't even govern them. They live in the UK, Ireland, Scotland, Australia, Germany. Pick a country. Pick any one of them. They just hate Donald Trump because that's the in thing to do. That's the part of a group or a clique that you can get involved with online and immediately be accepted as part of the group. And that's what they're doing. It's social contagion. That was created by Democrats. Mainly, though, the media. The media did that. 10 years of Donald Trump as a dictator. He's a Nazi. He's a racist. He's a skinhead. He's a white nationalist. He's a white Christian nationalist. He's a rapist. He's a this. He's a that. He's a thief. He's a crook. He's a con artist. He's the worst person ever. Why did people vote for him? Because we're not suffering from TDS, a social contagion, a cult. We're not in your cult. So they turn around, and you can tell how bad these people are, where if you support Trump, you're the one in the cult for supporting Trump, because he's all of the aforementioned things. I don't think you can fix that. I don't. Trump has to run his course, which he's doing, and he's being supported by the sane people who actually understand what they're looking at. What's amazing is how many people on the left cave to peer pressure, and they feel like they have to belong to a group. So they just go along with it, and they actually believe the stuff they're saying. Because if they don't, their peers are all going to turn on them and cancel them, unfriend them, unfollow them, say mean things. Now, some people, when they go through life, it's important to them to be loved by other people. I have noticed that conservatives on the right are not like that. I mean, everybody likes that, but they don't center everything about them with that. I'm like, yeah, that person's pretty cool, but look what he's doing. Fuck him. I don't care how many people don't like what I say. They don't do that. That's why they go out of your way to tell you they're an atheist or they're vegan, because they're reaffirming this stuff to themselves to fit in. I'm one of the good guys. It's called virtue signaling. Virtue signaling. I know ripping up that lawn sign is wrong. I know this is a democracy. People should be able to, but they're evil. So I have to do something. I have to be virtuous. The end justifies the means. It's wrong to do that, but sometimes you have to put down, I'll say that to escape the algorithm, to put down a murderer for the sake of society. That's why they weren't upset when Charlie Kirk was put down. They were actually very gleeful. We made the world a better place. And that's why they were upset when they missed Donald Trump and they shot him in the ear. They were upset that he made it, that he was spared. Well, anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to make a pit stop. Actually, I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to get home. Right. So, yeah, these people they're lost, you know. It's social contagion. They're either going to come around on their own, which they won't. And, however, there are some people that used to hate Donald Trump that don't anymore. I've seen a lot of those. So it's going to run its course. Just let it run its course. Let it run its course. Well, I'm warmed up now. It wasn't too cold today. It's 52. 52. A little cool. But anyways, yep, that's what it is. It's a global world social contagion to hate Donald Trump. These people don't know why. They just know that he represents the right. And all these people have been told and bred globally that anybody on the right is a racist, misogynist, hates women, hates minorities, hates people of color, yada, yada, yada. And if you vote for them, that means you are too. And that's the mistake they made. They made a mistake going after his supporters because that solidified them. Hi. Spooks! It's a spook house. So there's a Halloween event going on in Auburn, Maine, across the river tonight. Actually about 5 o'clock till 7:30. It's for what you call tweens. It's mainly aimed for kids between 10 and 13. Could be 8 years old to 12, I think. Anyway, there'll be some Halloween festivities over there. If they had fireworks or something, I'd probably go check it out, but they don't. So that'd be cool though, have fireworks for Halloween. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's not Halloween today, but it's coming quick. Speaking of which, today is day 29 of the government shutdown, and Chuck Schumer is feeling the heat. It's finally happening. I'm going to talk about two polls that came out that Schumer is not happy with. And he seemed to be getting angry with the media today during his podium display. If you get a chance to watch that, you should check it out. He got upset with the media because the media is questioning the shutdown and his narrative is falling apart. And the media was like, well, the Republicans have voted to open the government. They need 60 votes. Schumer has been lying to the public constantly, telling him that Republicans are in charge of Congress. Republicans control the Senate. Republicans have the White House. They should open the government. And the truth of the matter is, any dummy in this country knows with a filibuster, you need 60 votes to break the filibuster. We don't have 60 Republicans in the Senate. So the media used to carry their water for them and push that narrative, and they're not doing it anymore. And Schumer has been getting very angry with the media. They've been vocally chastising CNN because CNN is giving Republicans a platform to speak. It's like, what? What? Covering both parties is terrible? And CNN's biased. They're not even fair about it. Democrats are just upset there's Republicans on there in the first place. That's insane. So the Democrats are dangerous. They just are. They're not democratic. They're a socialist party. That's it. It's gone. The old Democratic Party is gone. You used to have a lot of moderate blue dog Democrats nationally, and some of them right now are questioning if they should stay in the party. Because if they want to stay, they're going to have to go along with this stupidity. So anyway, Chuck Schumer had a little fit today. He was a little upset. And got angry physically. He got physically and emotionally angry that he was being badgered by the media. The media is doing that because of two polls that came out. You ready for this? One poll that came out has the Republican Party, since the shutdown, has gained 12 points with the public. They've become more popular. It's actually skyrocketed. Now the 12 points granted is in the Republican Party. Now previously you had some people, and the poll was specifically who you blame for the shutdown. Republicans have gained 12 points, and Democrats, among Democrats, have lost support in their party. But the biggest important one is the independents. Okay, the independents. Republicans have gained 8 points with independents. That is monstrously huge. And the Democrats didn't really gain anything with independents. So they're losing the narrative, is what's happening. Now the second poll I'm going to talk about is the percent of people let's see, how was that worded? Turn that camera around. How did they word that? I want to word it properly before I say the number. So give me a second to bring it up out of my file cabinet. But it was an important poll, an important number. And it had to do with favorability of the Democrats since the shutdown happened. 70% of the voters do not approve of what the Democrats are doing. So the writing is on the wall. The news cycle right now is, and the reason why they're feeling pressure is that WIC recipients, Medicaid recipients, and SNAP benefit recipients in most states in the country are going to lose that Saturday. So this has to be resolved by the end of this week. Republicans are holding fast. They're not caving. They said again today, there's nothing to cave on. It's a simple continuing resolution. He goes, we're not going to put all these demands they want back in there that we worked hard to get rid of with the one big beautiful bill. They said this was lunacy, insanity, which it is. Democrats right now are boxed. They're boxed in because they're not getting their way. They're not getting anything. And the clock is ticking. And Senator Kennedy, John Kennedy out of Louisiana, very smart guy, by the way. A lot of people don't know, watching him, that he's one of these people that have more degrees than a thermometer. He's gone to Stanford. He's gone to many colleges. He's got multiple degrees. He's a very smart guy. He also taught law in college for a while. So he says what's going to happen is he goes, this is what's going to happen. He said it's going to come down to crunch time. And he goes, because we're not going to cave in on this, he said, because of what I just said. There's nothing to cave in on. And he said what's going to happen is, you know, he says Chuck Schumer has the votes. He said there's 5 or 6 senators. This is their last term. They've already announced they're not going to be running for office again. A couple of them next year they'll be done. A couple other ones, 4 more years they'll be done. And he said he can easily get them, you know, if he comes up with something for their districts financially. And basically Chuck Schumer is going to pay for their votes to go against the party and open the government, to bail out Chuck Schumer on this horrible mistake he made. That's what John Kennedy says he's going to end up doing. And I believe that. So there'll be a backroom deal made with these guys to get their votes, and then he's going to tell them, well, I'm going to have to go on the floor and say a couple bad things about you. Okay, that's fine. So that's what they're going to do. And I believe it when he says that's what they're going to do, because he's been around there for 8 years now or so. Yeah. He's seeing how they do that. Hi.
Hi.
So we'll head on up this way. I didn't want to scare her. Hope I didn't. I walked fast. So anyways, my friends, that's my take on those things. Don't know if any of it is correct or not. But I do know, causing the biggest catastrophe for poor people since the Great Depression is not a good political move by Chuck Schumer, and they're not going to allow it to happen. And Trump is keeping the pressure on because Chuck Schumer would love nothing more than for Trump to come up with some money for SNAP, because then that would give them some breathing room. Trump's not talking to Chuck. Trump's in Asia talking with Xi and everybody else, and he's already stated, well, I've already talked to Chuck. I talked to Chuck before this started. There was no talking to him. So open the government and then we'll talk. So that's what Trump is doing, and that's why Schumer is getting upset right now. He even tried to say, well, Trump came up with all this money for Argentina and he can't come up with money for starving Americans. And that's why he got annoyed, because the media said, why don't the Democrats just open the government then? And remind them that Republicans can't do that. They need 60 votes. Well, that was it. Chuck was pissed. But, hey, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, right? And so that's what's going on with that stuff. Been a lot of talk about, why don't Trump just release the USDA funds that's reserved for emergencies? He can't. He literally cannot. He would be breaking the law if he did that. It's just funny that now Democrats want him to break the law, and they'll just impeach him for it later. I'm sure of it. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? After the crisis is abated, oh, Trump broke the law, released this money. So to be clear, this was money that was appropriated by Congress. Only Congress can appropriate this money, and they're not in session because there's a shutdown. So, and on top of that, they need at least $8 billion, and there's only 5 in there. So there's not enough money in there to begin with. So this is just something else the Democrats are lying and politicizing for the media. They're being performative, it's called. They're being performative. They're making a circus. That's all the Democrats do. They act, they fake cry like Mamdani in New York. Oh, the only good Muslims are dead Muslims, somebody said. And he started tearing up for the camera after saying all the mean things he said about Jews. Fuck you. Fuck you. Everything with a leftist is based on emotions, feelings, emotions. That's why they smack the camera out of your hand. That's why they spit on you. That's why they throw coffee on you. If you have a red hat with white letters, they don't think. I saw a bunch of people getting arrested on live streams because somebody is there enjoying their First Amendment right, live streaming on YouTube, saying things that they don't want to hear. You can call it agitating if you want to, but that is a First Amendment right to stand on a corner and agitate somebody. We have laws that say that you cannot go up to them and spit on them for it, or damage their property, or punch them in the face. And the media, when Trump in his first term, was promoting the idea that it's okay to punch a Nazi. People that wear red hats with white letters are Nazis, and it's okay to punch them, according to the media. They act like none of that has happened in the past. They play innocent. No, I am going to hate the media for the rest of my life. They are shameful because they're shameless. They're disgusting. They promote violence, controversy, hate. They're evil. That's what evil does. So they demonize and denigrate, try to ruin people. You remember the lacrosse team? You remember that incident? That lacrosse team accused of gang raping that girl, and they were kicked out of the college. They weren't innocent until proven guilty. The media sensationalized that, got those kids kicked out of college, their lives ruined, propped her up on a pedestal, and then it turned out she had been drinking and she was acting like a slut, and the guys that were accused of doing that had nothing to do with her. That's what pissed her off. They didn't want her. It all turned out she made it all up. So she made it up. And the media did all the work for her. Instead of investigating it and saying, I think she's making it up, and then getting to the truth of it, which is what journalists are supposed to do, those kids would have stayed. And what happened is those kids ended up suing the school, and they got a lot of money. A lot of money. So that's what you get. So anyways, very interesting stuff, I think. Oh, look at that sky. That's pretty cool. That's a nice looking sky. Thin, high, wispy cirrus clouds. We got the Death Star floating up there too. See that? That's the Death Star. That's no moon. That's a space station. Anyways, interesting time to be alive, regardless. And there's always something to talk about these days on these walks. Something different happening every day. I don't know how many walks I've had where I've gotten home and I was like, oh geez, there's a couple other, what are you beeping at me for? Pedestrians have the right of way. So anyway, there's been a couple of times where I got back from the walk and it was like, oh, I forgot to talk about this, or I forgot to talk about that. I ran out of time. So those are good walks. believe the nerve of that guy? Turning in front of me like that and then beeping the horn because I'm walking across the street. The pedestrians have the right of way. So, you know, that guy would have hit me, he would have been liable. What a moron. Anyway, and I saw him, but you know, I've gone on so many of these walks. That guy was not going to hit me. He just wanted to beep his horn to be an asshole. I'm driving here. That was not going to time out where I was going to be hit. Point being, though, you're supposed to stop when somebody's crossing. That's the law across the entire state, and I think in most states, if not all. And I told him that, didn't I? Don't take any shit from anybody. Now, it's not going to say don't be violent either, because you don't be violent, but don't take any shit either. You know, too many people are like afraid to say anything, and that's why these assholes do that. Nobody says anything. Anyway, it's going to be dark soon. I noticed yesterday it was 6 o'clock and it was dark. Black dark, 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 dark. Like last light dark. The actual sunset now is about 5:30. But 6 o'clock, it's nighttime dark. And a couple months from now, a little less than, about 7 weeks from now, it'll be dark at 4. That'll be the shortest day of the year. Now, that's one of those things where people like to get you. Every day is just as long as the next one. They're all 24 hours. Shortest day means the shortest amount of daylight. So stop being a dickhead. Don't go through life being a dickhead, okay? Nobody likes a dickhead. Nobody likes when you use improper grammar in public and somebody points it out, for example. People use phones. A lot of people talk into their phones. A lot of times the phones misinterpret what you're saying and put the wrong words. Don't get upset about it, I guess is what I'm saying. Why you do that? Why you piss people off? Don't do that. I'd like to have a black t-shirt that says dickheads on it and have a red circle with a line through it. No dickheads. Alright, well, normally I would just walk up straight ahead and end up signing off with you. I'm going to sign off with you outside of the supermarket because I got to pick up a couple of things. One of them involves some fizz. I need a fizzy product. I'm gonna get some Fizmo. I like bubbles. I don't drink alcohol though. I've told you guys that plenty of times. For any new listeners or viewers, I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any drugs. I don't believe in it. If you do, then well, enjoy yourself. It's not for me. I quit smoking cigarettes in 2001. And one of my brothers recently quit smoking recently. He's doing very well. That's awesome. Not an easy thing to do. It's always something to be proud of. And well, I'm going to sign off with you. Well, thank you very much for walking with me today. Click like and subscribe, share the content, say a prayer for Trump and the country. And we will see you on the next walk. Thanks for walking with J.Beau. Have a great day. Bye-bye.